Good day. Welcome to a special edition of Spotlight on Mahopac Schools. I'm Eric Gross, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools, Anthony DiCarlo. Anthony's school schedule will open in 2 weeks, but yet many questions remain. You've received apparently no advice, no recommendations from the state of New York. What's the latest you could tell our viewers?
Yeah, it's very problematic, Eric, because, as you know, you have guidelines that the Department of Health has established, as well as the New York State Education Department. And reminiscent to say, instead of sitting down and looking at both of these together, they haven't done that. And I'll give you an example out in the public. So as you know, there are very similar conditions between what is symptomatic for COVID and what are everyday symptoms for allergy or cold or whatever. The state to this date has not separated them. So what could happen very easily, Eric, and will happen, is if a student is coughing in class or has a sneezing in class, we, based on the guidelines right now, would have to send that child down, would have to evacuate the room, clean the room, and then put the room back in place. That's impossible to do. So we're looking for guidance from the state to say that if it's a temperature and one of the symptoms, okay. Otherwise, Eric, you know this, I could be calling you up literally every other 10 days to say, come pick your son or daughter up because they have a sniffle, they have a cough, they have symptoms that may not be COVID related. Now you have to go to the doctor, you have to get a test. The doctors are going to turn around and then say, it's not COVID, that this is part of a seasonal allergy, and we have to get doctor's notes. So you can see the complications just on that aspect of it alone. The other aspect is as we get closer to school, we are getting staff members and individuals who are compromised, and we have to go over the fact that they have to get it approved by their doctor. We have a school district doctor that can then impact staffing for the buildings, and so we're looking at that, staffing and coverages. So there's a lot of things that are coming together, and a lot can change between now and the time school starts. So I wish I had a definitive answer, but I don't, and I understand the people at home are upset. They're anxious, they're angry, but again, we just have to go by the guidance of what we need to follow. I can't open up schools if I don't have enough people to cover classes. I can't have parents coming in every other day or every day because their son or daughter's got a sniffle or a cold, and it may or may not be COVID related. So we're still waiting for a lot of guidance on a lot of these things, and that's the frustration. And I also understand about childcare. I get it. I understand it. The days of grandma and grandpa watching their grandchildren, you can't do that now because of the exposure. And yet we know across the country that child care providers are going out of business. It's not easy for any of us. I wish I had the answer, the magical dust that I can spread and say it's all going to go away, but it's not. So, stay tuned. I mean, and I hate to say that, and it breaks my heart to say that, but there are so many variables that can happen between now and the opening of school on September 9th. I need to be honest with the community because I know they're hearing it. I know other districts are saying we're not going to be able to open the beginning of September because we're not going to have the staffing. We're not going to have enough things. We have the PPE equipment. We're good with masks and all of the other stuff that we need to have. We're good. We're just right now looking at being able to open our buildings, that we have enough coverage. And then, of course, this issue with the health of students and COVID and what those symptoms can be at the same time, and really what is and what isn't, and how that can become a nightmare for schools.
You talk about a lack of guidance, a lack of direction. Is that on the state level? Is it the county level, the local level?
I have to tell you, the Putnam County Department of Health has done a great job. We've really cleared up, and it's on our website. And if you haven't gone to it, please look at our reopening and mitigation plan on our website. Putnam County Department of Health has been great. If there is a suspected case or case, there's clear delineation of what we have to do. Shutting down, disinfecting, how many days we may have to be closed. They've done a great job. I go back to what I said before. The State Education Department and the Department of Health should have been sitting together at the beginning of the summer and saying, this is realistic to open schools, this isn't realistic to open school. And that's what we're struggling right now because we have no guidance. And I brought it up to the Putnam County Department of Health 3 weeks ago and said, this is a nightmare as to what's a symptom of a regular allergy or cold symptom and what's COVID, because otherwise, every day we're going to have quarantine rooms with kids all over the place, a lot of which might be a regular seasonal allergy. We're asking for guidance And the Putnam County has said they've asked 3 times. 3 times, we're working on it, we're working on it. Well, school opens in 2 weeks. We have to have an answer because it's a major, major impact, a major impact.
As Anthony said, stay tuned. That's all we could do at this point.
That's all we can do. And again, we keep using this word about resilience and patience. But, that only goes so far because people have to be able to plan. And when they hear the district has a difficult time planning, it's the reality. I wish to say it's not, but these are some of the things that we have to deal with.
And not only Mahopac, but schools throughout the whole region.
Yeah, and it is. And it's very difficult, Eric, because what's happening is because there's not that guidance, you have certain school districts doing remote, some doing hybrid. Then you have teachers that live in these other districts, and it's become somewhat problematic. It's not an easy solution at all. Not at all.
Our friends, stay tuned. That's all we could say. Anthony and I and Stash will be back. Any updates, any information, probably we'll do another one of these programs next
we'll
week.
Be doing another one that we'll be updating next week. And again, I think we'll find out a lot of information this week. We're going to find out about athletics. That's coming any day to find out whether or not we're going to have athletics or not and what that has to do with impact. But, we'll be getting out. The transportation schedules will be coming out. What's nice about that, they're basically the same runs with the same bus drivers. We're excited about that because they know the kids. Blue and gold cohorts have been sent out. But based on what I just said about class coverages and who's where, parents have to be, a little bit understanding about class assignments, Eric. Mm-hmm. They're going to be probably going out hopefully sometime maybe later on this week or the beginning of next week because of what I just talked about.
Subject to change.
Yes, very, very much so. But thank you again, and thank the gentleman behind the camera for doing these updates. I think they're important to the community, and hopefully the community will better understand literally what we're going through.
And no other community, friends, no other community in the Hudson Valley has a superintendent like Anthony DiCarlo to get the information out to you as soon as possible. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Eric, for all you do.
And thank you again, Stash. And you've been listening to a special edition of Spotlight on Mahopac Schools. I'm Eric Gross, Superintendent of Schools Anthony DiCarlo. We'll see you all next time. Be safe. Have a good day.
For more information, please visit our website, www.mahopac.k12.ny.us.